All right. So where was I?
I would have been so great if at some point that fan was just looked at you and be like, "You don't look like you have kids," and just started calling you gay.
Craig, it wasn't far off.
Oh
Oh,
no!
actually, it really wasn't far off.
Oh, I got the boys ready.
Although at least Stuttering John had the guts to say it to Carl's face. So,
Oh,
but we'll get there.
oh,
So, uh,
wow!
so that fan is bombing, but we're supporting the shit out of him. He does his Vietnamese mother. He picks on some Filipino woman in the audience just because she's Asian and he has only Asian material. So he has to use and abuse this woman for his bits. Um, he looks at a black guy in the audience, and I shit you not. I know Craig's gonna enjoy this, but the rest of us were mortified. He looks at a black guy in the audience who's sitting next to white women and says, "Phew, you guys must feel like, ooh, what's this guy gonna do to us?"
No way!
I swear to God,
Oh my god!
Drew, am I wrong about that? Did he not say that?
Wow!
He looked and he's like, "Oh, hang on to your wallets."
It's okay. Patrice O'Neill made fun of me a few times.
Yeah. He feels, he's part of the community now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Jesus.
he genuinely does like racist material. And listen, everyone should be able to try out whatever jokes they want. But the reason it comes off as racist is because he's not funny, and he's had 20 years to work on these hack jokes.
Ugh.
But hey, we let him do his material. He and then at a certain point he says, "Wow, I didn't really know what to expect from this crowd. I heard you guys, and I was a little thrown off. I really didn't know what to expect." And I was like, "What does that mean?" We've been laughing. We've been a tremendous audience.
The crowd
People
again.
would kill. Comedians would kill for the audience this was. If they showed up to a quarter full room and got this audience, they'd be cranking it to that memory for years to come.
Drew P. Ball says it was some of the most racist material I've seen in a long time.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you for falling in line. Attaboy.
Chef Lewis says the black guy was one of the comics. Is that true?
Yeah, that's the crazy. It was that Fez Grimes.
Oh my god.
And he brought the girls that were there. So you're making fun of not only one of the comics, a guy who brought a quarter of the audience. So Drew keeps Dad keeps talking about how he and his wife, he's like, "Yeah, I brought my wife with me. I've been on tour for 48 days." And I'm like, I feel like a lot of those days were wide open as far as scheduling is concerned.
He was driving. He can't afford a plane.
How'd you know that?
I was just trying to make fun of him.
No fun to be had at all, Craig, because he has a joke where he says, I tour the whole country, and I was in Florida recently, and of course, they saw my California license plate. And I was like, you drove to Florida? He's been literally driving around the country for 48 days. So yes, most of it was driving.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then so he talks about how people in Florida are racist, I guess. Even though he's fucking doing I mean, Rickles would have been like, buddy, lighten up on the stereotypes.
Yeah, the chat's saying that he'd fit in well on VGS. I don't appreciate that.
He would, here's the thing. He would have been like, you guys need to ramp it up. You guys need to really start going after the blacks more. What else do they steal? You know?
Oh boy.
Yeah, he was pretty rough. But hey, we supported it. We're all for it, baby. We're there to have fun and support these comedians. In our eyes, this was a pity fuck. We looked at these people and we said, we're going to give them the night of their lives.
They're going to remember us forever.
And I truly believe that many of them will, especially Tommy, my buddy.
And Dat's not going to have a choice from what I'm gathering.
Well, Dat keeps talking about the audience and how weird we are and how part of the audience he wasn't sure about.
The black guy?
And then he really wasn't sure about him, but that's not who he was referencing. And then he says, hey, he's closing out his set. And he says, hey, let's give it up for Tom Myers one more time. This guy put a lot of work into putting this show together. I know a lot of you guys are probably just here to tease him, but I think he did a great job. And I go, hey, way to break the fourth wall, asshole. What are you doing? So I guess he surmised somehow that we were there because, like, ironically. No, I don't know what would give him that idea. But when I tell you, like, ironic or not, we were laughing. We were not heckling. We were not yelling out of turn. We were, ideal audience members. You couldn't have begged for better audience members than us. And I was like, that's pretty weird. Why is he like breaking the fourth wall? And that's pretty insulting to Tom, because Tom was loving it. Even if part of Tom was like, I think they're kind of mocking me. Like I said, you could tell his confidence built throughout the show. And he genuinely, to me, sounded more confident. Like, I thought his delivery was better than I ever heard him because he had a crowd behind him. So I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, that's just a shot at Tom for no reason. Because he's just saying in front of the entire audience, hey, I know you guys weren't actually laughing at him, but let's clap because he booked other comedians on this. It's like, I think that's pretty shitty. But I'm like, okay, whatever. That's odd. So then the show ends, and we'll get back.
I hate that fan already during this story, so I can't wait to see.
We're gonna get back to him. We're gonna get back to him. But before we do, it feels like we're about to go into an ad read right now. But before we do, let's hear from our friends at HelloFresh.
Blindmike.net.
Oh yeah, go to blindmike.net. I don't know if we're gonna release this episode, but if we do, go to blindmike.net. This episode's live on Patreon. We'll pop on the Patreon live sometimes. So if you want to support the Patreon, come on back here. Bonus episodes of Why You Laughing, all that. New merch is up in the merch store, and the free links to the podcast and the YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. Those are all at blindmike.net. So subscribe there if you wouldn't mind. Excuse me.
Justin, by the way, you might be a little late. If you think about it, it's maybe the most busy weekend of the year.
Oh, we hit a ton of traffic. I told Justin, like, if you're tired, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he might fill in some of the blanks that I missed, but no worries, buddy. Take your time. Be safe out there. Show ends. Comedians are, milling about, and Tom is talking to some of the other comics, some of the other people in the audience, and he's the mayor of Havre de Grace. He's schmoozing with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a politician. He's got that kind of like, Tom would be great in an office, like, hey, back to the salt mines, that sort of thing.
Yeah, at the water cooler.
He'd be a great office guy where it's like, he's kind of a dork, but
good guy.
Good guy. And I gotta tell you, this is something I never was quite sure of about Tom Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought, because he does have an arrogance about him, a delusion about him. And I was always like, I wonder if he's kind of a shithead. And then that first interaction where he looked at Drew, who said big fan, and then looked away.
Yep.
I was like, I don't know. But I tell you, he couldn't have been a more lovely guy. Now, was I perhaps being a bit disingenuous when I asked him questions like, Tom, when you are performing in a place that doesn't serve alcohol, do you get nervous and feel like you have to pull back the edginess a bit? Because he answered, he goes, I got to be honest with you, it just flows out of me. So there's really nothing. It's kind of out of my control. We're having a great time. We're taking pictures together. I said,
Where are these?
I think Justin has it. I'll have him send it to me. What did I say to him? I'm trying to think. There was something else I said. He looks at my hat. I have a Sean Boland's hat. That's where he recorded one of his specials.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, hey, now you're just trying to kiss my ass, aren't you? And I go, this guy doesn't turn it off. And he goes, oh, come on.
I need to be friends with him now.
We're bonding. We're elbowing. We're fist bumping. I'm telling him he's got to come up to Boston sometime. He goes, I got to make it up there. This is what he said.
I will put on a show and have him come up here.
You got to book him. Now's the time. Now's the time to strike. Message him and say, hey, I heard there were some people up in New England that like you. Can we book a show?
We'll do a blind mic project like comedy show, and we'll just book comics on it.
Well, here's where I feel guilty though.
Yeah,
I don't know if I would want to invite him for that.
yeah. Well, you know what? We don't have. It can be unlabeled.
Yeah. So here's where I feel guilty. Like, if someone did that to me, like if a fan of Kirk's show that's been like tweeting, like shitting on me or something,
Mm-hmm.
or does, their own podcast and has been shitting on me, if they just came up to me, didn't like disclose who they were, and were just like having a pleasant conversation, I might be fine with it. But part of me would be like, oh, this piece of shit. Like, that's kind of phony.
Well, I mean, if we sell tickets and pay him, I don't think he'll give a shit.
That's where I'm like conflicted, because I was like, hey, we drove all the way the fuck down here. We bought tickets to his show. We supported him. We were perfectly polite audience members. So I don't feel totally guilty, but part of me is like, am I a shithead for going up and talking to him and taking a picture with him? You know?
No.
I was conflicted by that, but hey, it's done. What's done is done.
No.
But he goes, I asked him about like offending different audience members, and he goes, at this point, and now you can tell Tom's feeling pretty good because we're there.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, most of the people that come to my shows are there to see me, so I'm not too worried about it. And I was like, you're damn right, buddy.
I honestly hear more about him than Dat Fan.
Well, as you should. Because we're schmoozing with Tom Myers. We're loving it. He's got that Michael Scott energy to him. And then we say, Tom, have a good night, buddy. He did say, he goes, hey, if you DM me, mention where you saw me, because I have fans of a Nazi podcast messaging me all the time. And I was like, well, he either means Nick Mullen or Carl. So
Are you still blocked? Are you still blocked by him?
I'm blocked on Twitter by him, but he says, I have no reason not to believe him, that he has a social media team running his Twitter now.
I guess maybe he could be telling.
Sure, why not? Yeah, it's very believable.
I mean, I'm not saying he's paying them, but
yeah, I don't know. He said he doesn't run Twitter anymore because I think because of Elon Musk.
Oh god. Okay.
But hey, Tom didn't get very political. I got to give it to him. It was all kind of observational material.
Yeah, Chef Lewis says he's not on Twitter. Someone else runs that account.
That's what he said.
Wow.
He assured us. So we have a great time. We walk outside, we get some fresh air, and we say, guys, hands in, baby. We just bonded. We're all putting our rings together that form one ring in the middle.
Yeah.
This is we're talking about getting tattoos together of each other's names. This is the best friends gang.
Yeah.
And I might make my way down to Virginia just to visit those guys. So we're outside, and I believe it was Joe. It may have been Mark. One of those guys says to me,
especially if it's Mark, we'll give him
especially
credit.
if it was, and you know what? If it was Joe, Mark probably was like, "Hey, buddy, you can hand him this information if you want."
You know what? Yeah, he fed it. He fed the
yeah. I'm gonna let you have one. I've had too many victories.
You get some FaceTime with the boss.
Yeah, Mark's got to take a break once in a while.
Yeah,
Mark's such an integral part of the show. The band of four, I call it.
Yes, that's right.
Me, Hack Rod, Craig, and Mark. So one of them says to me, hey, did you hear how we almost got kicked out of the show? I said, kicked out for what? What are you talking about? He said that Phan went up to security, pointed at us, and said, you can feel free to kick these incels out anytime you want.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me find Dat Phan's Twitter. I gotta get following this guy.
I said, you motherfucker. I mean, Dat, you want to talk about fucking offensive material. You want to talk about someone who should be excluded from things. It's you from comedy. You failed. You won a comedy competition you never should have been allowed in. You had 10 minutes of material. You embarrassed yourself. And then you embarrassed yourself further by going on Tough Crowd and letting two veterans fucking own you and have nothing. To the point where, like, Dat is such a zero of a comedian, like a closed-minded racist fuck, that all he could do in these big moments is do a Vietnamese accent. He thinks that's funny. And he thought it was funny in 2003 when I'm sure it was over. But now he still thinks it's funny to just do a goofy voice and nothing else. Like, Dad, hey, I'm sure you think Chris D'Elia is an incel also, or has incel fans, which believe me, he does. But you're no better than him, buddy. Hear me on every level. You are no better than Chris D'Elia in any way. I'm sure you have a lot of the same proclivities.
I think
When I heard you talk about white pussy, it was disgusting.
Yeah, he's
It
married.
didn't sound like it was of age that he was going for.
Dat_Phan on Twitter. So just follow and observe and report until the word comes out.
Yeah, let me know what he's up to. See if you can find anything that may not be above board. I don't know what he's posting on Twitter, although believe me, he's very liberal.
I'll get my specialist on the case.
He talked about how much he liked an audience member wearing a mask in 2023.
Oh,
So I think you'll be fine. Hey, you brought it here, bitch.
oh my God.
Edit that out of the podcast. Don't actually. It's fine. That's
I flagged it. I don't know. I missed
No,
what you
I'm
said.
kidding. Yeah. So Dat wanted us removed from the building and called us like racist and said we were there to troll him, I guess. When Dat, you are fucking delusional if you thought any of this was about you, buddy. No one gave a... The only reason we knew it existed is because Tom Myers was promoting it. So yes, if you want to talk about the people teasing Tom, how about you give Tom a round of applause, you bitch? Because 10% of the audience would have been gone.
More.
And I would suggest, Dat, let me do that over for Hack Ride when he's putting this all together. I would suggest, Dat, that when you're a comic that hears laughter and is insecure about it, maybe the issue's with you. Maybe when you think it's impossible that people would be laughing that hard at a comedy show you're involved in, you might be the fucking problem, dude.
What's that noise?
When laughter throws you off, when you're like, this can't be real, then you are at a place in life where you shouldn't be a comedian anymore. You're a fucking loser.
Let's say you were heckling. He should be able to handle that.
He should have been able to destroy us.
Yes.
Justin was sitting alone in a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy shirt. If you're a hack comedian, it's ripe for crowd work.
It sounds like Justin's he line, though, was maybe the funniest thing of the night. Actual funny.
Oh, Justin, like, just hearing Justin respond, like, when they would ask a question, Justin would go, hell yeah. Sure, like, that was the best. But that was a fucking racist, and he points people out in his audience. It's like, first of all, Dad, if you don't want white people at your show, white men, I wouldn't go to fucking Havre de Grace, Maryland. I think you're in the wrong area if you want like a diverse crowd.
I've made it, Ma.
Well, that's not. Yeah, well, she would respond in a silly accent, but
right. That's right. Should I find some Dat_Phan right now? Dat_Phan's mom.
Oh, we're gonna find. We got some other stuff to get to. I don't want to make this too long.
Yep.
I think this is going to be a Patreon episode.
Justin is here.
Okay. I think, 1 second. I think it's going to be a Patreon episode, and I think the audio that Justin has maybe will break down on next week's Blind Mike project.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I just want the gearheads to know we're going to war. Hello, Justin.
Hello, Michael. How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Oh, sorry. I was rushing home. There's a shit ton of traffic. I was dodging in and out while trying to listen to the show. Craig's ignoring my comments that I'm putting on YouTube.
Oh, wasn't?
Yeah, very, very much so.
You didn't read them.
I put them on the screen and stuff.
Oh, I can't see that. I'm half blind myself.
The host can't see
it. Sorry, I put the judgmentalist lines up. I didn't see anything after that.
Yeah. I just wanted to say I did come when Judgmentalist asked for people. Mike, you probably didn't see it. I shot up right away.
You did. Okay, good.
Yeah, I thought you said J-Rock because I was like already up to the stage.
Oh no. Okay,
you said J-Rock. I was ready.
I thought I was pressuring you to get up there.
No.
Dat_Phan was pissed that you had more fans than him in that room.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't listen to the final 10 minutes here. But couple things was that one, it wasn't that fan who was going around and did like 3 minutes on the marriage. It was Fez.
Fez Grimes.
Yeah, Fez was.
They really all blended together at a certain point. But I think Dat was polling the audience at a certain point too, where he's like,
"Oh yeah,
hey, what do you do for work?"
Yeah, he was asked because he asked someone. He's like, "Someone looks like a librarian," and she's like, "I am a librarian." Everyone's like, "Oh my fucking god!
Holy shit!"
Yeah, he's like, "Who's the mentalist now? Who's the mentalist now? What?
Relax,
Dat.
It was very
wow.
I will say, Mike, it's like I don't want to say like you're understating. You can't overstate how excited we were.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Barstool Sports' newest employee. Justin
No, that's
Trudeau.
not true. Nope, that's not true.
I mean, going around everywhere today.
No. But Tom was awesome. Tom was awesome. Afterwards, when we talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, if you guys ever like message me on Instagram, just say you guys you were at the Have It a Grace show."
Yeah.
And we would know. And like he's like, "I'll know it." Trying to think. I was so upset with Craig not reading my comments. That's kind of
it was upsetting to all of us, really.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it was just an incredible experience. I was like,
well, you've really delivered a lot here. This has been informative.
Well, I haven't listened to the past 15 minutes. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, you said you're only releasing this on Patreon?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that's a mistake. You got to get the gearheads riled up. There are a couple of gearheads who, I'm sure all the true loyal gearheads are Patreon subscribers. Like,
I'll tell you, I'm basing it on Craig's reaction. I feel like I haven't sold this story correctly.
If we're going to,
I have been so captivated by this. I've been silent.
Oh, okay, all right. Maybe I will then.
Like he's not showing it, but he's putting on screen. He's putting on screen like, wow.
Okay.
he's typing on screen. He's like Mike is
just
laughter,
exclamation point.
Oh, this is a very captivating story, especially when you started with "We're going to war" after
good,
a comedy show.
So have I said this on the show yet? That I'm dedicating an episode of every show that I do to death. Okay, all right, good.
Yes,
good. All right.
You opened with that actually.
All right, good.
It was an incredible experience. This is not my last time in Maryland seeing Tom Myers. That's for damn sure.
Such a funny sentence.
Did you guys get seafood pizza?
No, we did not.
No, we've dropped the ball. We should have after the show.
Looks like we have to go back.
Oh,
I didn't finish. So they tell me this. They tell me what a fucking piece of shit. So I told the story just of what Dat said. Are there any blanks you can fill in, or is that about it?
About how we're incels.
Yeah.
He said to the security, which were all like retired old ladies.
Yeah,
he said like,
people.
Feel free to kick these people out.
Yeah.
And
Justin said he was going to pull a Portnoy and just drop dead weight.
Oh, I would have made a scene. Like we weren't making a scene. I have most of the audio. I have all the audio besides like the last half of Dat's set. If they asked us to leave, I would have went and just like been on the ground doing that noise for the next, and someone would have had to carry me out.
It was unpleasant, so I think it would have worked. But hey, we do have to give at least security credit because they were like, no.
It's true.
It's half the audience.
Well, what was honestly though? How would that have played out? They come up to you and be like, "You need to leave." Why?
I would go, "What? Why? What are you talking about?"
And
if they were like, "You're laughing too loudly,"
it's a comedy show.
I'd be like, "You guys are fucking with me, right?" Craig talked to Tom, didn't he? That son of a bitch.
That would have been amazing.
You guys are punking me.
I will say on the drive home, I said this is where we missed Craig, because if Craig was here when Dat was walking out, Craig would have been like, "Sup?" You would have.
Justin looks at you as some sort of tough guy for some reason.
No, you would. I think you would have called him out.
I would have definitely said something.
Well, I'll tell you. Let me ask you if you have a problem with my approach.
I was going to ask if you did this. If you said the story.
Oh no, so Dat walks out. This is a pivotal moment in my life.
And this is after you found out about this?
Right after.
Oh, okay.
I'm at a crossroads. I have to think on my feet here. How do I play this? Which road am I taking? High or low?
Well, I mean, if you beat the shit out of a blind guy, that's even more of a story.
Well, so I don't know if I took the right approach. But what I did was Dat walks out and I turn and look at him. And he says, "Have a good night, guys." And I raise my cane, which is sort of the blind man's tip of the hat. I raise my cane and I say, "Great show, man. Thanks a lot."
Oh.
And I walked away. Well,
If
turned
you,
away.
if you said it in a way that was definitely degrading, like, yeah, dude, good job.
I'm gonna well, I wanted so here was my logic, and I don't know if this had the right effect. I wanted him to think he's a fucking asshole
Yeah.
because he wanted to have a blind man removed for laughing too loudly. Who at the end of the show, which as far as he knows, I have no idea about this, that he wanted me removed, and I said, "Hey man, great job."
And you showed him the cane.
Showed him the cane as if to
Okay,
say,
that's not the
you know,
worst play. Not the worst play.
that's my
And
lie. I will always kick myself for not saying, "Why did you want me removed?"
no, I
But
think you I think
maybe
you did the right thing.
we'll have that opportunity at some point.
We got to check Dat Fan tour dates to go see this pile of shit again.
Yeah, I
Oh.
won't be paying $35 a ticket. That I assure you.
Unless
Oh,
Tom
I-
Myers.
I told Mike, I was like, if you want to see heckling, I'll show you fucking heckling. Like,
Yeah.
I can.
We're gonna go in like it's a Louis C.K.'s first show back. We're gonna be protesting this thing. We're gonna be picketing outside.
Dat Fans are racist signs.
Well, there were a couple, well, Mike, I don't know if you. There were a couple of times when Dat Fan said some racial slurs towards Asian people.
Yes.
And then he was like, "Oh, is that too much?" He's like, "Who am I offending? I'm offending myself. I'm offending myself. I'm offending myself." So
Yeah.
he's kind of like, I don't
Apparently,
know.
he was playing to the racists in the back of the room.
He's a very sensitive guy, huh? Jesus.
He's a cunt. He's a sensitive cunt.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was but yeah, no, every other person, there was a couple parts of audience participation. There was one point where the mentalist was having these people like hold crystals in front of them and like keep it very still, and then he'd be like back and forth, round and round, round and round. And he was like, everyone in the crowd, come on, yell round and round, round and round. And no one was doing it. And so I start screaming at the top of my lungs, round and round, round and round, round and round. And I think the mentalist might have been like, put that guy there as a plant because he was like in the first row, first seat.
Did I describe the stapler thing correctly?
Yeah, it was like it was a staple gun, but it wasn't like a gun. Like if I shot, like if I shot it at you, it just would fall to the ground. It was pretty much nothing.
Any friends of ours in the Dallas, Texas area, July 7th, Dat Fan will be there.
I'm not joking. There's a greater than 0% chance that I
fly to Texas.
fly. Like I'm a driver.
The Firehouse Theater.
Was he only do firehouses? That's where this was.
I don't know. Friday.
The building was attached to a firehouse.
Oh, it's 2 fucking nights.
Wow, good for him.
Well,
Is that it?
They get 2 horrible shows.
That's all he has for the summer.
And also,
well, comedians don't really work in the summer. They usually take the summers off.
That's right. That's right.
Mike, did you mention about how like the girls there were acting very similar to us, but he gave them no grief?
Yeah.
Mike actually said if there was 6 of them, you guys probably all would have been married that night.
Yeah, that was my what did I say? It would have been the Cullinane's. It would have been our Cullinane roommate story.
Right.
Would have been all like I found. I of course, you know, my girl Mary has my heart and have it to grace. But if there was 5 others for the other girls too.
Well, yeah, Justin. For anyone that doesn't remember, Justin's the one that went down to speak to Mary. So
Did you see Mary?
No, I did not.
it was a different set of elderly people working the door this time. If Mary had to kick us out, we might have been fucked. I don't think we should. We could.
Maybe that was the fight. That was the fight she got last night. She's like, some hecklers came. That's what she was talking about.
Oh yeah, she doesn't fear getting punched in the face, so she'll have you.
Dat Fan's father-in-law was there, which is kind of humiliating.
Ooh.
So like, your wife's dad has to like look around a fucking empty show and be like, "These people aren't even here for you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't a single person who was there for Dat Fan.
No, it was all the other comics.
We were there for Tom, and everyone else was brought by other comedians.
I think it really shows that I mean, Tom's a nice guy. I mean, even afterwards, we're all talking to him, we're in line with him. Did he not say like, "Hey, make sure you go see Dat"?
Oh yes.
Fan?
He goes, "Hey, this is before I knew what happened." He goes, "Hey, go make sure you know, I appreciate you guys coming to me. Make sure you go up to Dat and give him credit and everything." So he was trying to make sure we spread the love to that fan. Now, thank God we didn't. But
I hate this fucking guy.
he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Wanted us removed from the building for a comedy show for laughing.
I got a squad getting some intel. We'll have some answers soon.
Okay, good.
VGB's on this.
VGB is on it. The elite of the elite VGB.
Good. All right, Justin, anything else?
Nope.